Okay, so we can talk a little bit about bait for Lac Serreire and Badger's Holt. Again, most people that know me know that I'm really into bait. Actually, it's been a hobby of mine for 30 odd years. And I also really believe that, again, like the other things we've talked about, carp welfare, we owe the fish, decent nutritional food. So we have a few bait, first of all, the kind of bait rules here. We have, first of all, is no shelf life or preservative based boilies of any type whatsoever. There's a couple of simple reasons for it. One is those types of shelf life baits don't tend to be the most nutritional ones, so they're not really doing the fish any good from a nutrition point of view. And secondly, the preservative itself, the various different chemicals being used by bait companies, sometimes in quite high levels, and they can do the fish no good at all. They can basically kill the good bacteria in the gut that the fish needs for digesting. So not only can they not really digest that bait itself, but it can also give them problems to digest other baits they've eaten and natural food and so on they've eaten. So from the health point of view, it's a really bad thing for fish. Not all of them, granted, some bait companies would be upset at me saying that. I'll say there's a handful of good ones out there, but the majority, in my opinion, are not good, at least not for the fish here. So no shelf life baits whatsoever, please, on the complex. And during your visit, we do look at people's baits. We just want to be 100% sure. So your bait should be freezer, frozen, fresh baits. Few people, they bring them in air dry bags already drying out, that's fine. Few people put salt in with them, just some salt in a bag with the boilies to stop the moisture, keep the moisture out, which keeps them fresh longer, that's also fine. But they need to be frozen, freezer type baits. Okay, moving on to particles. Just like the boilies, we don't allow any preservative based ready-made particles here. For exactly the same reasons. They're just not good for the fish. They mess up the digestive system of the fish, and they're not good for you as anglers. They don't catch you nearly as many fish. The particles we do allow here are pretty straightforward. We allow tinned sweet corn. We allow maize and hemp. Now, the maize and the hemp needs to be freshly prepared. It needs to have been boiled for at least an hour or so, soaked for 24 hours. If it's hemp, it needs to be split open so you can see the white insides coming out. And if it's maize, it needs to be fully expanded where you start to see some of the grains are split as well. So they're kind of splitting the skin, they're so expanded. They'll catch you a lot more fish like that, and they're also safe for the fish. If you're using maize or hemp that's been prepared that way by yourself, we will check it. We're not picking on anybody, but we've had a lot of people come with very badly prepared particles. That's why we're very careful about it. The other particles you can use are what we have available here on site. We have a few options. We have a seed mix, which is hemp and another few seeds mixed together with a kind of aniseed flavour added. It can be very effective. We have maize or maize and wheat as a mixture ready prepared. Or we have a mixed particle, we call it Serreire particle mix, but basically it's maples, maize, seeds, a number of other bits and pieces added in, very effective. And we boil it and prepare it to order. So if you need that, just tell us either before you come, have a chat with us before you come, or whilst you're here we can boil and prepare as much as you need. Okay, so moving on to pellets. We do allow pellets on the complex. They can be very good for the fish, actually. We do have one rule on them, though. We have our own Coppens pellets here that we feed the fish with ourselves in the winter months, and only they are allowed from the 1st of November until the 1st of May. That's when the water is colder. They're a low oil, proper carp pellet, and the fish can digest them really easily. High oil pellets in the colder conditions are not good for you as the angler or good for the carp. One other word of caution on pellets, they're very sensitive to how they're stored. We see people having pellets on the bank and they'll leave them in a plastic bag in the bright sun for the whole week, and at the end all the oil's in the bottom of the bag and the pellets have got oil on the surface and so on. That oil will oxidise in the heat, and it's cancer producing, it's carcinogenic at that point for fish or humans. So we store our pellets in a cool, dark place. You should store your pellets the same way. We also have shelf lives on or use by dates on our pellets, which we stick to. We actually throw away pellets if they go beyond that date. We don't use them or sell them. the fishing industry is full of bait that's been stored for too long, but just be careful with that, careful how you store them. And I recommend just use our pellets. We've got tons of them here, the fish are used to them, you'll catch a lot of fish on them. So it's as simple as that, really. Moving on, we do have one other important rule which we've introduced actually at the beginning of 2017, and that's we don't allow plastic baits on the complex anymore. Plastic baits are not allowed for a very good reason. If you have a snap off of some sort, it could be a lost fish, a crack off from a cast, line caught in snags and snapped or whatever, you leave a live rig out there with a piece of plastic on, it's basically fishing forever until something picks it up. It can actually be picked up and hook fish multiple times. You know, a fish will get itself off, rip itself off it, and then it will get picked up by another one. So they're really dangerous for the fishery. Our tethered fish we've had here in the past, the common theme has almost always been that there's plastic bait on the rig, so we don't allow them anymore. There's some great alternatives now. A lot of boilie companies are producing, toppers or small, 10mm pop-ups, things like that. There's even corn-shaped toppers available on the market. They're better anyway because they've got flavour and more attraction to them. So I'd recommend them, but don't use plastic baits, please. Last but not least, on the whole bait subject, we feed the carp here a lot through the winter, and we have on site available at all times at least a couple of really good quality HMV freezer boilies. These baits are superb. They will catch you tons and tons of fish. I use them myself. Nearly everybody who uses them catches. The fish will eat them absolutely readily every single time. We're not here particularly promoting those boilies as a business. We're here feeding those boilies as a carp food. It's more about giving the carp the right kind of food. The boilies we have are a real food bait, a classic HMV type of bait. So before your visit, my recommendation is please contact us, call us, email us, message us on Facebook. I love bait, it's one of my hobbies. I'm more than happy to talk to you as long as you want about bait and try and get you as much advice as possible prior to your trip. So don't hesitate, give us a call. We can help you out a lot on the bait subject, and then when you're here, you can be confident. You don't have to worry about bait. You can focus on the things that really matter, which is mainly location.